Imagine waking up 6 months from now, and you literally barely recognize yourself, in the absolute best way possible. We aren't just talking about a new wardrobe or a fresh haircut here. We're talking about a profound transformation of your very psyche. Today, in this explainer, we are unpacking the legendary Carl Jung's 6-month protocol to unleash your true self, which offers a roadmap for real, completely irreversible change.
Okay, let's dive right into our chronological roadmap. We're going to cover the illusion of change, mapping the hidden shadow, engaging active imagination, hitting the point of no return, diving into ego death and rebirth, and finally, navigating with daily practices.
All right, starting with part 1, the illusion of change, and exactly why external fixes always seem to fail us.
So, have you ever tried to completely revamp your life by getting a new job, moving to a new city, or maybe finding a new partner, only to find the exact same toxic patterns following you right through the front door? Well, you can't change your life just by rearranging external circumstances. It's literally like rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. True change only happens by altering your internal relationship with your mind, by integrating the unconscious. Because wherever you go, there you are. You're the common denominator in every single situation.
Think about it. An overwhelming 95% of your life is actually run by your unconscious mind. All those automatic reactions, your biggest life decisions, your repeating patterns, they all live in the dark. And honestly, that kind of makes you a puppet who is absolutely convinced it's pulling its own strings. But hey, here's the great news. Your unconscious isn't trying to punish you, it actually wants you to grow. Those annoying repeating patterns are really just messages begging for your attention. Over the next 6 months, this protocol is going to take us step by step, from mapping to integration, straight through the crucible of ego death and all the way to a total psychological rebirth.
Which brings us to part 2, mapping the hidden shadow, making the unseen seen.
Now, for your first 2 months, your only job is just to observe. Don't try to change your habits, don't try to fix anything, just dive deep into your inner world. First, we need to define what the shadow actually is. And no, it's not some cinematic evil twin. It's literally every single part of yourself, both the positive and the negative, that you have pushed away, suppressed, or hidden just to be acceptable to the people around you. We're talking about buried ambition, squashed anger, hidden sensitivity, the stuff that secretly controls us behind the scenes.
So, how do we map this out in 60 days? Well, you get to play detective using 3 precise steps. First up, track your triggers. Really notice those strong emotional reactions you have to other people. Second, track your projections. You know, those times you are utterly convinced someone else is being arrogant or lazy. And third, examine your admiration, what Jung calls the golden shadow. Those amazing traits you idolize in someone else, that's actually your own unrealized potential staring right back at you. You are basically treating other people as mirrors that reflect your own rejected psychological material.
Moving right along to part 3, engaging active imagination. Time to befriend your dark parts. Once we hit months 3 and 4, we pivot. We shift completely away from just observing and step into active, wildly counterintuitive engagement. Instead of fighting your dark parts, this technique asks you to actually converse with them. Active imagination is this conscious, interactive dialogue, kind of like a waking dream, with the rejected figures, symbols, or emotions of your shadow. You literally sit down and ask your suppressed anger or fear exactly what gifts they are trying to give you. Sounds crazy, right? But it works. And you know, befriending your shadow doesn't turn you into some monster. It actually reclaims vital trapped energy and redirects it into profound personal power. For instance, suppressed anger doesn't make you violent when you integrate it. Its true purpose is to give you firm boundaries. Discarded selfishness actually becomes healthy self-preservation. And that buried sensitivity, it blossoms into deep connecting vulnerability. You are quite literally taking your power back.
Now for part 4. The point of no return, the phase of irreversible change. By month 4, the integration deepens significantly, and we step over a terrifying but absolutely necessary threshold. Right around here, your ego is going to panic. Why? Because it's losing permanent control. Suddenly, your external life, relationships, or jobs that were built on your old false identity might actually start to crumble. Jung called this necessary destruction the night sea journey. It's a period where you feel totally adrift in the dark. But listen, when things feel like they are completely falling apart, it's actually a massive sign of success. That old foundation has to crumble to make way for the real one.
There's this incredible quote from a patient going through this exact process that sums it up perfectly.
They said, "I woke up one day and couldn't remember how to be who I used to be. It was like trying to fit into clothes from childhood." Crossing this point of no return makes the transformation irreversible. Your old life must die completely for the new one to be born.
Part 5. Ego Death and Rebirth. Activating the Transcendent Function.
Welcome to the intense crucible of month 5. This is where what Jung called the transcendent function activates. It's basically your psyche's way of bridging the gap between who you were and who you are becoming. During this month, you're going to feel like you're living between worlds. You'll feel immense psychological pressure as you hold the tension between your old defensive reactions and your new authentic impulses, without choosing between them. Sounds like a blast, right? Jung actually compared this intense, in-between state to being pregnant with yourself. But if you can just sit in that creative fire, month 6 brings the grand prize, the birth of the capital S self. This is a fundamentally new organizing principle for your psyche. It's driven entirely by your true internal compass, instead of your past trauma or whatever society expects of you.
Jung put it perfectly when he said, "I am not what happened to me, I am what I choose to become." This represents a cellular level shift. Your old triggers, they just effortlessly drop away, and you begin to operate from an unshakable, authentic center. You don't just react better to things, you are a fundamentally different you. And wrapping up with part 6, navigating with daily practices, your psychological GPS tools. To keep you from getting totally lost out there during this epic 6-month journey, Jung insisted on 2 critical psychological GPS tools. The first is dream work. You've got to write down and dialogue with your dreams every single morning. Why? Because they will dramatically evolve to reflect your psyche's transformation. You might start in month 1 having dreams about being chased. By month 3, you're facing direct confrontations. Month 5 brings heavy themes of death and birth. And finally, by month 6, you'll start having dreams of arriving somewhere totally new.
The second GPS tool is synchronicity. These are those crazy, meaningful coincidences where external reality seems to reorganize itself just to mirror your internal frequency. Alongside your dreams, tracking synchronicities, like, a book falling open to the exact piece of advice you need right when you need it, proves that you are transforming in direct connection with the collective unconscious. You aren't doing this in isolation. It feels practically like magic happening in real time.
So it really comes down to this choice. The next 6 months of your life are going to pass anyway. That's a guarantee. Leaving you with the decision, either stay stuck, sitting in the familiar suffering and repeating patterns of your old loops, or engage this protocol, do the deep shadow work, and absolutely transform into your authentic, stable, and totally real self.
As we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with one final, essential question to ponder for your own journey. Are you willing to let who you've been die so that who you're truly meant to be can finally, fully live?